Probably been to an AI agents panel at this point, but this is a different AI agents panel because we're talking about AI agents built on Bitcoin, Bitcoin's agentic future. So without further ado, I would like to welcome back to the stage Mr. Glassy from Covault, who's going to be moderating once again. We have Marcus from Atoma. We have Jen here, Jen Tran from ICP. Thank you so much, Jen. And Philippe from Synternet. And last but certainly not least, we have Cleper from Lava Network. So I would like to welcome all of you lovely folks up to the stage. And yeah, we're going to chat AI agents on Bitcoin. Glassy, take it away.
Thank you, David. Mic check. All right. It's definitely, I would say, just about two of my favorite subject matters. I've been talking about this for a long time. That this is really two enabling technologies that were just made for each other. It feels like they're perfect. And we have a wonderful panel here, so I'm not going to talk too much. Would love for everyone to give a little bit of an introduction. I have some questions lined up. And yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah, I will start. So I'm Jorge António, co-founder and CTO of Atoma Network. We are building a fully decentralized network for AI compute with verifiable and private AI.
Hi guys, I'm Jennifer. I work at DFINITY Foundation, which is a major contributor to Internet Computer, or ICP. So ICP is a layer 1, but it also acts as a layer 0. We have a feature called Chain Fusion that allows our smart contracts to actually get Bitcoin data as well as be able to generate a Bitcoin taproot address and sign for it. So we also act as this layer, I guess I would say like a smart contract layer for Bitcoin as well.
Hello. Hi, my name is Philippe. I'm head of business development at Synternet. Synternet is building the world's largest inference and signal pool for DeFi. We have our tech stack. It's Cosmos app chain that facilitates real-time data transfer and monetization of signals, and this is what we foresee, right? That the way the blockchain and the cross-chain world is working needs a collaboration of millions of agents to make sense of DeFi in general, whether it's risk, opportunity, and the collaboration is key to the security of anything built with Bitcoin that goes cross-chain.
Hey everyone, super excited to be here. My name is Yair Cleper. I'm a contributor at Lava Network and a founder of Magma Devs. Lava Network is kind of a cloud chain, a Cloudflare on-chain, aggregating all the top providers, starting with RPC APIs, and serving already on more than 40 chains, and tapping now into AI agents. After a couple of them tweeted that they're using our infra to get access to blockchain 24/7. Excited to be here. I need to run to another panel in the main event, but we'll try to be here as much as I can.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's get into the conversation. I want to start actually, let's just talk a little bit about trust. There were definitely a lot of talk on the last panel and the earlier interoperability about trust, but I'm seeing so many incredible agents being developed, so many ideas being iterated, interesting infrastructure that's evolving. It seems like the best time ever to be a builder and to actually have, like, the future is here, and we're the ones that are going to actually shepherd this into being for the rest of the population to take advantage of this incredible evolution in tools. But this is what I want to start our conversation with before we get into the technical side. What is it going to take to build trust so that that more humans actually feel capable? Okay, we're going to generate an image, easy to trust, right? Not a high stakes operation if it has an extra hand or whatever. But what is it going to take to start trusting agents with more sensitive things, whether it be information, our own personal data, our finances, these kind of things? So I'd love to just get people's opinion on, like, where are we at? Is that in my opinion is going to be one of the trickier things to get over. So yeah, maybe we'll just start with that subject.
So you're talking about privacy, I guess, more.
It could be privacy, is just to say, like, for a human to actually trust the agent. Here's my Bitcoin. Here's the thing that I didn't want to even give to any other custodian, but I'm going to trust you now. Like, how do we actually build to that degree where humans feel trusting with more than just, say, generating an image or generating some text?
Yeah, so today you trust your bank, for example, right? That's why I think most of us started. I like to think about, when DeepSeek was introduced, I don't know if you remember, but there was an Israeli company named Wiz that showed a bug how to exploit and get the access to the database, to other users' queries. And yeah, that's what is that's why it's a scary moment. On the one hand, you have a lot of opportunities, but they are a bit confusing. On the other hand, you have the time to market, so you want to ship, and sometimes you are just skipping security steps. You are letting a lot of vulnerabilities into the space. So yeah, one of the things that we're really curious to see with Lava and where we're taking the next step is kind of a standardization among agents. I used to say that when we started to do RPC is the language of blockchains, right? But now we need to tap in of what is the language of agents, right? So it's kind of similar to MCP of Anthropic, of some of you have heard of. It's defining a connectors of what standard agents are speaking with each other. What standard make sure that they're not they're not training data that is private on the one hand and exploiting them and making them more vulnerable on the other chain. So I think this is something that is very interesting. And one executive in Anthropic reached out to us and presented the MCP. And we're thinking now about collaboration of how to take Lava coordination layer and tap into standard of AI agent, but keep them incentivized. I can tap to that later, but that's for now.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so trust is a topic that is very important for Atoma. So we provide, as I mentioned, private AI and verifiable AI. So the way that these agents tap into the LLM itself, we need to make sure that that process is fully transparent in a way, and we need to trust it, right? So for example, imagine that I'm an LLM provider compute, and for some reason, I might know in advance that I'm powering some agent for some financial application. I just might hack it. I might hack the system, right? So verifiability for the LLM compute is very, very important, and the privacy as well, because if let's say a node operator that is providing LLM inference to some agent can know in advance what the agent is querying, then I can basically do some sort of sandwich attack and these sort of things, right? So these things are extremely important, especially when we provide these programmable AI layer on top of L1s and L2s, right? So Atoma solves this problem using technologies like trusted execution environments that are basically, our infrastructure allows to have security both on the CPU level and GPU level. As you might know, GPUs are widely used for accelerating AI. So this part of the LLM inference is the trust that we can achieve in the privacy. It's really crucial for us, and it's basically our main prop value, right? That said, that's one component of the stack, right? So for example, I might trust the inference provider, but will I trust my funds to some wallet, to the agent wallet, right? I mean, LLMs are great, but they haven't achieved the point where they can be fully trusted they are not yet at the point that they can be fully intelligent and make the best decisions ever, right? So that's a different problem. I think models will get just better and better, and we'll have better techniques to interact with these models. So this is a problem that I think we'll eventually solve. Another one is who manages the wallet that holds the funds of the agents, right? And that's a problem related to other sorts of technologies like MPC and whatnot. But maybe some of the panelists want to expand on this as well.
Yeah, I think the points mentioned are pretty good thus far. So one thing that's really needed in the space is make sure that LLMs are open source, because one of the biggest challenges of connecting any verifiability layer or some sort of proof of inference is these LLMs aren't open source. So DeepSeek has done a really good job of pushing that narrative of open source, but we would love to have Anthropic, OpenAI, any of these other providers also make their code open source as well. At ICP, we also have we're thinking about researching how to maybe run like LLMs on chain. Now we found it actually very difficult because in order to have GPUs on chain, we're obviously doing that research. But I think one thesis that we have is maybe these models themselves will be small enough in the future that you can actually run them on chain. So DeepSeek has done they claim that you can run like a model like on CPU, like long term, maybe you could actually run that on a smart contract as well.
Good. Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said here. What we see also is the source of data that is being ingested. Where do you get it from? Who is providing it? How do you understand what's happening in a cross-chain world? And only the collaboration of different entities, not only agents, that feed the agent, and where you could create redundancy if needed to verify that the signals or the inferences that you use might be closer to the truth than that you need to actually execute the transactions is also one of the bits which is gonna create more trust, right? So it needs to be transparent. It needs to be redundant if needed, for big transactions. And the collaboration is what's going to bring us forward, because we cannot rely on one single entity to provide the truth about what's happening on the blockchain.
Great. It's funny because I was looking for a different kind of an answer, and everyone touched on a different facet of trust related to trust, talking about building trust. Well, let's build trust with the builders. Like if we can show, like if we have a clear technical solution of why you can trust this and how you can verify, okay, that's like one domino. And eventually that domino tips over to the end user who gets to benefit from this without having to maybe absorb that deep technical awareness or knowledge to be able to make those decisions. But also hearing like, and I think it's maybe worthwhile to hand right back over to you about like monitoring. I think that's another key factor of like, well, how do we get these agents to be more trusted? Well, let's give them some very important tasks that might not be the end user putting their funds into the agent's hands, but showing and demonstrating things. And I think Synternet is a great example of that, of how this incredible ability to process data can bring something so powerful in terms of monitoring, and then also in terms of using this data to turn into a revenue stream. So I think it may be just worth handing right back over to you, and then we'll move into another question.
Absolutely. And this is what I meant before, that we're creating an inference and signal pool. So signals can be monitoring signals, right? So we have right now several wrapped assets, proof of reserves in real time available. So if anything happens, right, there could be a double spend, a hack or whatever, and you could pick this up in real time. You could compare this and put this into context with news that are happening. You can see that the funds movements cross-chain or from a SEX or to a centralized exchange, you can put this into context and make a very quick decision, right? So you could be, if you see that it's happening on one wrapped asset, you could move your funds to a different wrapped asset and execute this autonomously. But you need to understand the full picture, and monitoring is one part of it. So that's why I mean that several entities, so we're onboarding risk metrics from Chaos Labs, for example, that can run alongside raw blockchain data, signals, off-chain data, and this is what is needed for the agents to grow, to understand the world they live in. Because, I mean, when you just look at blockchain data, you see movements, but you don't know why, right? So you need to contextualize this, and signals and monitoring is one big part of this. So we can do this, people, because it's permissionless on Synternet, anyone can come and contribute to that.
Wonderful. All right, I have a couple of different questions kind of competing in my brain. So we'll go with the first one of, as we're moving forward, what are you the most excited about? Like, what are you the most excited about in terms of applications of AI or agents, like that is the most relevant, like the most high value and the closest proximity time-wise?
Yeah, maybe I can start on that. I'm super interested in like personalized AIs. So anything that you can like leverage your personal data in a private way to power LLMs and all sorts of AIs to give you more curated answers to your daily life problems. It can assist you on things like, well, I want to fully track the entire Bitcoin ecosystem, let's say, but I don't have the time to be reading all like sort of releases, everything that is happening on the ecosystem. So I would like to have, for example, an LLM or an agent that will just go and like goes over all the content and can just basically pick and choose like what's most relevant, that can give me market insights, and I mean can help me with my writing my emails, with like tax fillings, for example, healthcare, all sorts of things. I think this will be extremely powerful. It will empower humans to the next level. And I think this is a step forward to a new era of in terms of societal change, where people are more like sort of aware of like the type of society they live in, which will be great. And yeah, I think this is something really cool. And for that, we need like sovereign AI, sovereign data, and and trust as well. So some problems that we have been alluding here.
Yeah, so previously we had this thesis of like AI running on chain, and in this conference there's a lot of talk about AI running on chain. But I think what really excites me is AI being part of the blockchain. So what that means is, agents themselves have tokens, agents themselves, interacting with tokens or any aspect of the blockchain. One really interesting project that I'm interested in, so there's been this concept of this proof of AI work blockchain. So Chaos Chain by Neithermind, also Anikai is working on a similar concept as well, is maybe like AI agents can be miners on chain, and with their intelligence, they can solve some sort of challenge. So yeah, I think this concept of AI being part of the blockchain is really interesting from that perspective of actually them being miners, but also think about them actually integrating into tokenization themselves, either whether it's now that if there are contributors to AI, maybe they can be paid using tokens, or AI agents do all the other things that we normally have done on chain. So I'm thinking that people used to hate bots, but people don't hate AI agents. So maybe in the future, AI agents can actually live alongside us.
Wonderful answer. Did you want to add in?
Yeah, for sure. So I really like the direction you're speaking about here, whether it's a privacy or a specific-based LLM to personalize what you're looking for. I'm particularly interested in how we're taking the economy of Bitcoin, how we take the economy of the different currencies, and we put kind of a marketplace to incentivize different LLM and agents to do some tasks. Because sometime, you chose until now the OpenAI model, but with DeepSeek, we see that you can train the model with a fraction of the cost. And with the Web 2 world, there is not really a way to incentivize the different actors, right? To incentivize and create kind of a real LLM marketplace that's speaking about who can get you the most affordable, I would not say cheap, but the most affordable answer, right? Imagine ChatGPT that is kind of using different LLM sector and comparing the answer that comes the fastest, right? But it was also need to bear in mind what's the price of it. And the second tier of that, or the next evolution of that, I see that you go to enterprise-grade products that don't care about the cheapness, they care about the quality of the response. So how you come and you compare different tokens, not tokens currency, but tokens of the LLM models to say, okay, this response have this quality and stuff like that. It all goes to standardization, and this is something I'm personally very interested in.
Wonderful.
May I add something?
Yeah, please do.
No, I mean, for me, what I see is that we're always kind of in an echo chamber here. We always talk about the blockchain we're solving so many problems for so many things, but no one's actually using it on a mass scale, right? So, and why? Because it's very complex. And it's not a nice user experience in general, and it's very generic what I'm saying, but the normal people don't want to be dealing with the way the blockchain and the industries is working, you know, with signing transactions, with bridging, with looking for different options. And I think that AI agents could be, you know, with keeping this decentralized aspect that we've built with different blockchains, with different that are highly specialized in their own capacity, that agents will be able to simplify access to what we're building, because they can make sense of all of that and just interact quickly with the user. So this experience is what I think, you know, will be the chain abstraction, not the chain abstraction layer, not, you know, something that will again centralize with liquidity or funnel users to one place, but just let people build what they are best at, and then the agents will be able to manage and utilize everything that's being built, because we have it in a fragmented way, but they could be the glue to mass adoption if that ever comes.
Wonderful. All right, I want to ask this, I want to get into this idea of, do you think that AI is going to stimulate more of like a productive element within what is otherwise maybe a very consumer-oriented group of people? Or is it going to just kind of facilitate them being better consumers? Like, do we see that the AI, these agents, are actually going to be a transformational element that maybe helps people become more aware of even simple things like, I might be getting tricked. Like, they might now ask the question like, oh, I know there's AI in the world, and I might be getting tricked. But they might have been getting tricked all along. The last 10 years, 20 years, there's all kinds of trickery, and they just never even thought to ask that question. So now, maybe this is a third element I'm bringing in about, is this going to help people become more self-aware? Are these agents in this future going to help people become more productive? Or is it going to just really facilitate them to be better consumers and just easier to receive the services that might improve their quality of life?
I will take that, and then I'm sorry I had to go to another event. But you know, I think I've seen with Near AI that we're working on a very good presentation talking about the assistance kind of thing, right? We all want the agent to be our AI assistant and can guide us through if it's a spam, if it's malicious operation, if he has more knowledge to bring us to the table, and at the same time cut 90% of our time, right? This is what we all want, not to work tomorrow, but to really invest our time in things that are important for us. So I think obviously the answer is yes, like we're going towards an era of magnitude of productivity. We're going towards an era that kind of the Bybit hack cannot exist anymore, because it's not about the human that making the error. There's going to be another layer that's aggregating all together and notice that there is something spammy there, there is some malicious act there. Yeah, that's what I think about that.
If you had to say, though, better consumers or more productive, what side of the line would you say?
Depends on the consumers at the end.
Does it depend on the country? Like in the US, there'll be way better consumers, but maybe other countries have a different type of mentality. I don't, it's hard for me to say.
I think in the US, it's only going to change the songs about 9 to 5, you know, like when you need to work 9 to 5, so it's going to be this, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, and sorry again, I have to jump.
Wonderful. Thanks for being part of it. All right, great. I would love to maybe just hear, this is maybe toward the end of the questions, but I would love to hear maybe your, like we talked about the future, or we talked about the present, we talked about trust, we talked about maybe some different like solutions. I would love to hear maybe your ideas about like just the biggest idea that you've heard, the most futuristic, most wild, like mind-bending application, or maybe like futuristic prediction related to agents, like in terms of what agents catalyze within society.
Yeah, I think honestly, when I was a kid, I read a lot of sci-fi, and it seems like everything I read back then is basically turning true. Like I think we'll get to a point where it will be like the internet will be flooded with agents that will be basically impossible to distinguish from humans, the way that they interact and whatnot. And I think the next step, the next evolutionary step for AI is physical AI, where we'll have more systems, robotic systems that start to become more pervasive, start to take more like actions on the economy and whatnot, right? It's very difficult to predict what will come next, but it seems that we are moving in that direction, and that's both scary and exciting at the same time. And who knows, I think AI will open the doors for like exponential increase of human knowledge overall, and this can open the doors for everything, including like space exploration and whatnot. So things that we thought was just a matter of science fiction, they might be very, very close. But honestly, I hope we'll not fall into some sort of like a dystopian future for everyone, but I trust that everyone in the space building incredible tech will have something to say and will build technology that will push us forward in the right direction.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the craziest idea I have heard, and they actually are actively building it, is Anikai, like I was mentioning before, Anikai is building this proof of AI work protocol where LLMs or AI agents are the miners to a blockchain, and they're the ones that will solve a challenge. It's gonna be interesting on which models they'll choose, if people will create their own models to mine maybe Bitcoin or some other token in the future. Yeah, but it's going to be very interesting to kind of see, if AI agents actually are going to be part of, a very lower level part of the blockchain stack.
Yeah, and I mean the one that I personally am a bit afraid of is when the connection with biology, for example, with your own physical entity. Imagine you have your AI agent, you tell them, yeah, just make me the healthiest person in the world. It gets your biometric data via some different systems, and then it gives you a life to live, to be kind of healthier. But is that really, so are we staying human? Are we giving too much away to achieve a goal that's maybe idealized right now? But how are humans actually going to put boundaries? How far are we going to go? To which extent are we going to integrate AI and robotics into our own physical entity? And agents could be one of those things. Just tell me what to do, and it just guides your life. So yeah, is it going to make us less human? I don't know.
Love it. All right, I think we're heading towards the end here, so I'd love to give each of you a little bit of time to just talk about your project, maybe some announcements that are coming up, any specific calls to action. We'll start with you, Jorge.
Yeah, thank you. So so Atoma Network, we are building a decentralized network for private and verifiable AI compute at scale. We are leveraging trusted execution environments, which is some hardware solution for privacy and verifiability, which has minimal cost overhead. So we can basically be an alternative for things like OpenAI and Anthropic for tailored for open source models with privacy. So you own your data. Nothing can be, your data cannot be tampered, cannot be used by node providers and whatnot. We have created our own cloud service that makes interaction with these AI systems very, very easily, even though you are tap into a decentralized network. And recently we did a major hackathon with the Sui blockchain, where we had roughly 170 projects building on Atoma. That was super exciting. We are currently on DevNet. Very soon we'll have our testnet coming, so stay tuned. And if you guys want to know more, I suggest consulting our Twitter, Atoma Network, and our website, atoma.network. You'll have all things, docs, GitHub, etc.
Awesome. Yeah, so Internet Computer, we are a layer 1 blockchain, but we also act as a layer 0 and a smart contract layer for Bitcoin. One of the new features that I'm excited about in regards to AI is we have this LLM canister, which is a smart contract that actually allows you to call to an AI model. And so how that works is we have this canister that calls out to these AI workers, and then will return you a response to a model. So we are hosting bomb teas at the ETH Denver hackathon. The due date is tomorrow, but we're more than happy to speak to you if you are interested in building anything outside of that. And yeah, you can visit us at internetcomputer.org.
All right. Synternet, again, is building the world's largest inference and signal pool. So if any one of you is building valuable data and wants to monetize it and make it available so that the market intelligence just gets better and better, feel free to reach out to us. You can find us on synternet_com on Twitter. On X, sorry, I keep saying Twitter, or you can directly get in touch with the organizers and they put you in touch with me. Yeah, so we launched an AI agent recently who our community can interact with. It's tracking blue chip assets, blue chip movement, market sentiment, and gives you insights into what's happening on the blockchain for those assets. It's going to start make price predictions for BTC, for ETH, and people will be able to engage with this. We're going to try to turn this into our treasury management agent to show that we need to take the next few steps and try it ourselves, right, with our own funds, and just show an example to the rest.
You see, that was the perfect answer to how do we build trust among users. Well,
Exactly.
tell you what, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're putting our treasury in the hands of these agents that we're so confident in. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
wonderful. Yeah. Smart.
Make mistakes, learn from it, and go again.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, so we're going to wind down. Again, thanks for listening to this panel. Thanks for being part of this wonderful space. And I'll hand the mic back over to David Cash, but let's give a round of applause to our wonderful speakers here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.